Hello, this is D-Boy from West Coast Uncensored coming to you a little bit of a lot of news in the last 24, 48 hours with the NFL, with specifically with the Oakland Raiders, and a lot of news about, of course, Antonio Brown, and I'm going to call him his antics. Um, as you know, he got it from what it has been reported. He First of all, when he got there, then he went through the thing where he went into and his feet were froze. He went through that therapy that's you freeze your body and get in, and you're supposed to wear some kind of protective shoes, which I don't know why you don't know that. Everybody that does it seems to know about it. I don't know much about it, so I'm gonna be honest. I don't know much about it. Um, and then misses some practice time. Then misses some practice time because he can't get a helmet, and he goes through something that nobody else in the NFL goes through. Files grievances with the NFL for what? A helmet. A lot of players were not happy with their helmet. A lot of star players. I won't go into who they are, but they kind of follow the rules because it is a rule. And eventually, I guess he did get his helmet. Now he's been fined, and he's angry about the been fining, and then he attacks Mike Mayock. Calls him a cracker. Attacks him, and even tells he would punch him in the face and physically assault him. Now it comes that he makes a team apology today, and he's playing on Monday night. They play the Broncos. They open the season always on Monday. The NFL seems always put together the last few years. Doubleheader on Monday. That's kind of what's happened. My take on it is West Coast Uncensored. This is definitely open to reporting sports, and everything we deal with here is being, down the edge, not showing our favoritism. But, I'm an NFL kid from back, as a kid, football, and love football. And I'm a Raider fan. And I am not oblivious to the fact that I lived the Raiders when they were a great foundation and one of the best organizations in all sports. I think they went a 25-year period with the best winning percentage, including all sports. That's long gone. That's been gone couple decades, 2 decades and a half. I don't live in. I just personally choose not to live in a world of fantasy. I will tell you what my team is, whether it's baseball. I will be harder on my teams than most fans will be. The Raiders are not a good organization and have not been for a while. That's just the reality of it. I know there's a lot of people go, oh, Raider Nation. I'm Raider Nation, but I remember it was glorious. It hasn't been glorious. It's been bad for a while. And this is why I say this. If you check out the landscape of professional sports, no bad organizations have good teams. Check out hockey, baseball, basketball, the NFL. As much as you may hate the Patriots, can't stand the Patriots, it's because they win. In the last 20 years, they've been the supreme organization in the NFL. It is. You do it their way. You have to. They do things their way, and they don't go outside of that. They have a foundation of what they are, and the Raiders needed a foundation. And last year, when everything went awry, and I realized this wasn't getting any better, I backed off from negative talk and stuff and looked at the Raiders and said, "Okay, John, if you got a plan, I know it's a rebuild." And I understand. I even understand the Mac and Amari, and I won't go into why, but I understood that. I did understand why they were let go and traded. It made sense to me. I understand. You got to rebuild. As good as they were, as good as Mac was, he didn't make that a great defense because this is ultimate team sport. You need a lot of areas. But to turn around and make a trade to get a star wide receiver, and I'm not saying that Antonio is not a star. He is a really, really, really good football player. I've known that for a long time. He creates, but what he did in Pittsburgh last year definitely should have raised red flags. It did for me. Not going to the last game when you had a playoff opportunity with a win, and some things had to happen, not to show up for the game, just screams red flags. The interaction with the team, recording meetings in the locker room with your head coach and your organization. Pittsburgh's a very good organization. Pittsburgh Steelers have been a good organization for a while. That's why even if they don't go to the Super Bowl and every year, they're always a challenge to that. They always usually make the playoffs. They're solid. A place the Raiders need to get to. Because, like I said, I'm going to refer back to what I said. Bad organizations, good sports teams do not have bad organizations. So why I'm saying this about this is for the Raiders ever to accumulate and be that which they used to be in a day I remember and lived in when they were a great organization. They have to build a foundation. And I question this trade. I love bringing in a superstar. There's a part of me that was like, he can do damage. He makes a playmaker. But there's a part of me that knew this guy started crap. This guy is not, if he comes in and starts this, you're trying to build a good foundation, and it's not built. You start building that foundation now. It's not built in Oakland. You could definitely turn back the clock and take a longer time bringing in a guy like this. So with all the antics that happened, my personal opinion in West Coast Uncensored is they should have cut him. Cut bait. I believe that. This is about the 53 other guys and a bunch of young players. This team has the most undrafted free agents, I believe, that made their team. So they're there's a lot of youth in this team, which is cool. You got to rebuild. They had good draft picks. I like some of the draft picks. I really believe in Mike Mayock. I really do. I liked the stuff he did before he was ever a Raider on NFL Network, and that I thought he was really good at is what he did in breaking down players and what they do good in that. And to bring him in a GM, I wasn't about. I said if they could rebuild. Mike Mayock's the only one that stood up and brought the sauce of good foundation. Whether him and John are playing good cop, bad cop, I just think this is the beginning of the charade. This charade and everything is good as far as the 6th of September, mark my words. We will see more AB charades because he is a charade. Whether it's a mental health issue, I wish he'd go get help. But obviously there's something going on, and this didn't start with us. Pittsburgh, the word came out, Pittsburgh covered up a lot of stuff because they have a good organization, which they would cover it up because when they were ready to trade him, if they could trade him, they didn't want the tradee, the one they would trade him to undersee everything he did because it might make him back out of the trade. Smart organization. And who did they find? They found my team, the Raiders, who have not had a good thing. So, John, this is on you, and it's on Mike too. But, John, I think Mike was ready to pull the trigger. And now today the news is he apologized and cries a river and apologized, and the captains come and stand by him, and he's reinstated and will even play Monday night. I don't see this ending well because this is not something that's been going on with him for at least 12 months and probably longer if we really investigated the Pittsburgh Steelers, even the year before, that there was stuff going on. Like I said, if you want to be a good organization, you got to build a good foundation, and I just don't see it. I see this being just the beginning of some really bad, desperate stuff and a lot of clowning. And again, you could be the laughter of the NFL. The way I seen it. So, as of yesterday, lucky I wasn't Gruden and I was not Mayock, because I would have cut bait instantly on that stuff that went down the last couple of days. That's uncalled for. And guess what? You could have did it and he wouldn't got his money. He only back there crying today because he realized you can get your money. And I don't know who else out there will pay you. Any team with any good foundation, they ain't going to pull up. They ain't going to get you. Don't care how talented you are. You're going to have to, there's even talk of New England would take. You go to New England, you do the Patriot way. It ain't going to be AB's way. So you brought all this drama to a team that needs a good foundation and lacks it. Just set you back again. But anyways, that's what's kind of happened in the NFL. You guys have a great day. This is West Coast Uncensored. A little bit coming at you, I guess a little bit one-sided, but That's my opinion. I just don't see any good in this and the things that he's did. So I think the Raiders definitely made a mistake that they will pay for. Watch and see the payments coming.